Paul George. Oh, Paul George. Paul George. PG-13. What a disgrace. What an embarrassment. Before I even jump into it, as we all know, the Los Angeles Clippers are going to be thinking about, do they want to pay Paul George for this next contract of 4 years for $213 million? Steve Ballmer answered that question last week. He said, we're not giving him that much money. We'll give him a 3-year deal for $152 million. For the stuff he's put us through, but the stuff he's did with this franchise, him and Kawhi, he should both be talking about. If I'm Steve Ballmer, stop it. Please, Steve, stop it. Stop it. These guys are taking your money. They're taking your money. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have been playing together for 5 years now. They played a combined 181 career games together. Now we'll give them that. That's way more. Joe Tsai, owner of the Brooklyn Nets, will take that any day of the week because his big three, we paid a lot of money into, and Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving only played a combined 22 games together, but that's neither here or there. And Paul George now has decided now is LA the right spot to do it. But hold on. But Paul George doesn't know what he wants though. Paul George, if you ask Paul George, he says it's not really about ring chasing. He don't know what he's playing for. Take a look.
At this point, I'm not even necessarily like, it's not even about like,
what?
People saying chasing a championship. Like, it's not that.
What do you mean it's not about
the right
you
style
should?
of basketball? Is what I'm chasing.
You mean to tell me 9-time All-Star, Paul George entering year 15 this upcoming season, just wrapped up year 14, can average about 22.6 points per game, 5 rebounds and 3 assists this season. For a 33-year-old, not bad. But hold on, let me bring up the Clippers. The LA Clippers were bounced out once again in the first round. This time to the Dallas Mavericks, who went on to represent the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals before they were done in 5. Ironic how simultaneously speaking. Paul George, I know Paul George in a closeout game in Game 6 in Dallas. I mean, it doesn't matter where it's at. But you're Paul George, and I understand Kawhi Leonard was down. I understand he was down. He was out for the rest of the season, and this, what, so forth and so not. 18 points, 2 for 10 shooting, 6 of 16 from the field, 3 assists, and 40 minutes of play. Really, dude? Here's the irony of it. Paul George was held in check against Derrick Jones Jr. Period. Nothing, no conclusion about it. And now we're still doing the speculation now. Will he stay or will he go? We got the Sixers now. They're in the mix for him. Why would anybody want him? And I'm not going to say want him because Paul George, I want to make some disrespect. Paul George is a phenomenal player. He came in the league. He changed the way how we looked at two-way guys. I mean, the dude can get his own shot and absolutely defend 1 through 4. I mean, the dude's when he wants to. Because PG just shows up when he wants to. I mean, Paul George could be absolutely great. Could be great one. Could give you 41 games. Give you 40. I seen this man on nights where this dude couldn't flat out miss. And I mean miss. But I've seen many games where we doing what we used to do with Anthony Davis. Hey, y'all seen PG today? Where PG go? PG playing tonight? He hurt? Well, because he'll just disappear. And I'm not talking about no D'Angelo Russell disappearing. I mean, this dude disappeared because it's a different kind of experience. D'Angelo Russell is a role player. We expect role players to do that and get by with that. D'Angelo Russell also ain't making $215 million either. Never has and never will. Paul George, you are a 9-time All-Star. You mean to tell me you up there playing in L.A., making all this money? Steve Ballmer gave you and Kawhi everything y'all want. Got the coach and Tyronn Lue, LeBron's old who won a championship with LeBron and Tyronn Lue. Brought him over to hopefully that'll spark a little bit of something. And again. I mean, don't even go out. I guess we don't go out with a bang no more. I guess we don't go out with a bang. I guess we just go out now. We don't go out with a bang no more. Say what y'all want to. Go back to and not the nitpick and bring up, the king and but go back to last year in the Western Conference Finals in 2022. when the Lakers were on the verge, we're about to get swept in Game 4. Age 38-year-old LeBron James laid it out, had 31 points in the first half. In the first half. I know it doesn't matter. You still got swept. They still got swept. But that's just an indictment on Paul George. And that man's 39 years old. This year, first round, 32 points in Game 4. Won them the game. Almost got swept again. Then Game 5, 30 points in a 108-106 loss. That's what I'm talking about laying it off. 18 points? Game 3 against Dallas had 7 points in 30 minutes? That can't happen. That can't happen. And I'm gonna tell you, ain't no way these two should have been playing this long. And the closest they got. First of all, Paul George. This is about Paul George and where he's be going and where he could possibly get a fit. And I'm trying to figure out, Paul George, at this point in your career, you need to be trying to win championships. You done made all the money in the world. You done got all the accolades. It's Paul George. Not only Paul George, you don't have a ring. You don't have a ring, my brother. You haven't played. You don't have an NBA Finals appearance. You don't have a finals appearance. So James Harden got a finals appearance. And yeah, it came back in there when he was a role player. But heck, at least he got something to hang his hat on. My brother, you don't got nothing to hang your hat on. You out there, you're living in LA. Breathing that fresh California breeze. And you mean to tell me you don't got no ring to show for it? That's what we want Jason Tatum's behind the ball. Since he got drafted by Boston, been to the Eastern Conference Finals 6 out of the last 8 years. Finals in 2020 and this year. Now he's the foreseeable NBA champion. But if he didn't, we were gonna be on JT behind if he didn't show up. We were gonna be on his behind. You getting all these deals, talking about getting a $300 million, and you don't got no championship ring to show for it. All these commercials, we seeing you got this podcast for P. But you don't got nothing to show for, and they're gonna have the nerve to say, it's not really about them chasing the championship. I want to play the right way. My brother, seems like you've been playing quote unquote the right way the last 5 years. It ain't got you nowhere. So here's a couple things Paul George is gonna have to do. Here's what Paul George is going to be dealing with. The Clippers once again can offer Paul George a 4-year, $221 million contract, but is only willing to offer him a 3-year, $152 million deal. And honestly, they're not wrong for that. And if I was the Clippers, I'd be saying goodbye, kick the door, up on you out. Because ain't no way I'm bringing a dude like that back on the team. Kawhi Leonard's different. We invested a lot into Kawhi. He's 1A. PG has been 1B. And there's a discussion. But if I'm honest, if I'm Steve Ballmer, if I'm being completely honest, y'all, serious, if I'm being completely honest, I'm blowing the whole thing up. I'm not bringing none of them back. But Kawhi Leonard's a little different, the money situation, the cap, and all that. But Paul George, he wouldn't even. I wouldn't be having an option. I wouldn't let Paul George declare nothing. By all means, you had. Go explore. Go explore free agency. Go see what's out there because you're not bringing your behind back here to L.A. You're not bringing your behind back here to L.A. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George been playing longer than Anthony Davis and LeBron James have. Say what y'all want to about Mickey Mouse, but that Mickey Mouse got a ring. That Mickey Mouse got a ring. And I stand on that. That they might not win another one. Shoot, they probably not going to win another one. Not together, they not. But at least they got one. Again, they have something to hang their hat on. That's true. When you've been playing this long and you made all this money and you got all this success and you got all this acting. Don't get me wrong, Paul George is a phenomenal player, an all-world talent. An all-world talent. Somebody, again, can get his own shot, play off the dribble. You know, the only weakness I can honestly say about Paul George's game is that he's not really been able to be a good cutter, and a good backdoor cutter. He's not been the best at moving without the basketball. I don't know what it is. Some guys just have it better than others. I don't know what it is. But other than that, Paul George, honestly, that's the prototype build who young kids want to come up and be like. A lot of guys look up to Paul George as they should. 6'8", 6'7" wing, can handle the ball, a hybrid defend, it can finish all 3 levels. But brother, you don't have no ring to show for it. You don't have no ring to show for. And I'm gonna play this quick. And then he gonna call himself being mad at Stephen A. Smith and calling himself trying basically in other words saying Stephen A. Smith doing too much, saying all this baloney and stuff like that about Kawhi. Y'all take a look at this. Please take a look at this, please.
Kawhi wants to play. Like I will keep beating that over the head until I'm like, out of breath. He wants to play. Like he keeps making it something that Kawhi doesn't want to play or he doesn't want to be there. Like it just, I think we rolled Kawhi a lot
Kawhi
this
Leonard
year
don't want to play.
to where it
and that's your
kind
teammate. Of course, you
got to the point of like,
somebody, you're not gonna speak up to your brother.
hey, like there's only so much my body can take right now.
You're not gonna sit up and go to bat for him. You're not gonna
exhausted a lot out of Kawhi
your
this
sibling,
season.
somebody you love, your girlfriend, brother, mama. You're not gonna go to bat for. You gonna let somebody, especially on live television, you gonna let somebody just flat out just disrespect your brother, your teammate like that. You've been playing alongside for 5 going on 6 years now, possibly. Kawhi Leonard don't want to play, and Kawhi Leonard don't care about no basketball. Kawhi Leonard don't want to play. Kawhi Leonard don't play about no basketball. Kawhi Leonard don't care about no basketball. Period. And put it like this. And I'm sorry, PG. And I'm sorry if I'm offending. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody. Put it like this. And if Kawhi Leonard wants to, if this is him wanting to play, oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine. I wouldn't want to see what it would look like if he didn't want to play. I mean, I wouldn't. What about the other last season? What about last year? What was the excuse? Matter of fact, both y'all were out last year and got done in 5 by the Phoenix Suns. The Lake put together Phoenix Suns with Kevin Durant, Chris Paul, and Devin Booker before Chris Paul was up out of there. They did you in 5. What about the year before that? When y'all went to the Western Conference Finals. And that's when I will give Paul George respect. I'll give Paul George, because that 21-21 season, I will give Paul George without Kawhi Leonard. He stepped up that year. He stepped up and let them all, had Reggie Jackson, Batum. It was only so much he could do. Didn't really have enough help. Terrence Mann, it wasn't enough help. They were just, that Suns team that year, we just had great chemistry. Monty Williams was coaching his butt off, tip off to him. Hope he lands a good job, but that man doesn't have to. He's made enough money in his life where he can travel all around the world for all I care. They gave the Phoenix Suns that year in 2021 a run for their money, and Paul George was definitely MVP of it. Make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But where was Kawhi Leonard? Where was Kawhi? It's like this dude, like that's what I say. If this is him wanting to play, I couldn't imagine. And I don't want to hit the rails about it till we put a lot on Kawhi and stuff this year. That's what happens to you when you're 1A. I say after Kawhi Leonard won that championship in Toronto, he checked out like that. He checked out. He checked. I can't remember. And in 2020 before that, we're not even gonna count that with the bubble. Seriously, people. Seriously. Like I said, you got one guy. You can't have 2 superstars like that. If you're gonna construct a team of 2 guys to get 2 superstars and a bunch of good solidified role players, you must do it right. Please look and see the characteristics and how your superstars are. Because if you have 2 superstars like Paul George or Kawhi Leonard, you don't have no superstar. Because you got one superstar who you don't know when he's gonna show up. All you know is that he's more than likely not to than he is to. And then you got one, he'll be over there somewhere in Cancun or somewhere. Dude, don't even play. You can probably count. You can literally count a month how many games Kawhi Leonard's gonna play on all 10 fingers. That is sad. And I understand injuries happen. It could be a physical sport. I'm not saying Kawhi Leonard was not a lot was put on his shoulders and that he was not being used a lot and that he was not seriously injured. But besides all that, off the court, the market, this man does not do anything, Steve Ballmer. I'm talking to the owner of the Los Angeles Clippers. He does not do anything to promote your brand. He does not do anything to advertise. Matter of fact, if we didn't know who Kawhi Leonard was, you wouldn't even know Kawhi Leonard play. If we weren't basketball watchers, y'all, we wouldn't even know Kawhi Leonard played for the Los Angeles Clippers. I bet you that. We wouldn't know Kawhi Leonard played for the Los Angeles Clippers. You don't see him in no Clippers merchandise. You don't see him talk about no Clippers. And I understand he doesn't talk at all. But man, what? That's who I'm investing $500 million to take my franchise and be the leader of my franchise? He does not, you don't hear Clippers come out his mouth. He don't do anything. And I mean, he's just sitting over there taking the money. Like how anybody be, he's just taking the money. And Paul George over there telling the stories. Kawhi Leonard not doing no talking. He don't ever act like he want to be no Clipper. That's why when Paul George said, oh, he wants to play. He wants to play. Does he? Really? Since when? Since when he would Kawhi Leonard want to play? I never know Kawhi Leonard. And honestly, I agree with Stephen A. on one thing, what Stephen A. Smith said. And I'm sorry, when he's healthy and when he's engaged and when he's locked in, Kawhi Leonard is arguably a bona fide top 3, top 5 superstar in this league. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That dude is the real deal. It's no doubt. I'm not taking nothing away from that dude. But he is the worst superstar you can have because you can't rely on him. You can't depend on him. He's not reliable. He's not dependable. You know he could be playing like this. He made a big deal out of playing 65. You can't play 65 games. Tell about before the season starts. I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna sit over there and force nobody. Nobody's gonna make me play. Nothing. You can't play 65 games. Say what y'all want to about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis played 76 games. LeBron James at 39 years old played 72. It's an 82-game season, by the way, y'all. You can't play 65 games, and I agree with Anthony Edwards said. Man, these people are putting in, forget a win and a loss. Take all that out. What about the kids up there paying their last money to watch the guys like y'all play and just to only get there 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes or so before tip-off? Oh, so-and-so not playing. Kawhi Leonard not playing. Paul George not playing. When you really can play. Like I said, Steve Ballmer needs to really consider about the construction and the resurrection with this team seriously, because I know I would. Because I'll be darned. I mean, you don't become billionaires for no reason. Last time I checked, you don't become a billionaire from being dumb. And Steve Ballmer, with all due respect, you've been making some pretty dumb decisions, and you've looked like an ignorant man. You've looked like somebody that can't let it go. Matter of fact, you look like one of them crazy women or them crazy men who can't let a relationship, somebody that's been married for a long time, they just can't let it go. Oh, he gonna turn it around. He gonna change his ways. He gonna quit lying. He gonna quit being a manipulator. He gonna quit. After 4 years, where all this man has ever done is stole from you, all he ever done is lied to you, all he ever done is cheated to you, and all he ever done was laugh in your face and number 5, and basically, figuratively speaking, smacked you across the face with the decisions and the ignorant reality. This person is so true. And that's what he's been getting with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, but especially that Kawhi Leonard. At least I can say, when it's been playoff time, playoff P, not going to say he's been playoff P, but he was playoff P and showed up. At least was there. I mean, like, almost kind of, when I say there, I don't mean for a big-time performance. I mean there, like, when a teacher when a teacher come into classroom, start the day, they take attendance, like, hey, you here? Paul George, you here? And, like, just raise his hand, like, yeah, I'm here. Don't mean you're doing nothing. I'm asleep the whole time in class, but I'm here though. Don't mark me absent. I'm here. That's what Paul George was basically in the first round against Dallas this year, and him and Kawhi last year against Phoenix when they got ended in 5 in the first round. Steve Ballmer really took to consider this restriction in his team, seriously. Because LA our way, they ain't won nothing. They're not going to win anything. And I stamped that. Now, where Paul George could possibly go? Because I still believe Paul George, last thing I'm going to wrap this up, I still believe Paul George can be a bona fide secondary option. We've heard things like New York, and we all know the other teams like the Sixers and the New York Knicks, they can offer Paul George as much as the 4-year, $212 million contract, I believe, because it's like that. And if I'm Paul George, and if I'm really serious about winning, and I hope he was just talking on that podcast, like how he's been doing since he's been in LA, just telling the stories. I hope he was just talking, because seriously, that's not a good choice of words to use. That's not a good choice of words to use at all. I'm just trying to put the right way, not really about what? Retire then. But it's not true because these people just tell the stories. It's not true. So where I can see Paul George going, I could definitely see him playing in Philadelphia. And you can form that 3-headed monster. Nick Nurse is a great coach. I always said Toronto's going to regret letting him go. Nick Nurse is a phenomenal coach, a tactician. You play alongside Tyrese Maxey, a point guard. You got Joel Embiid, who arguably is the most dominant big man, most dominant player in the league when he is healthy. He's another one. He's the one that really does have seriously injury issues. Another one. You put Paul George along with those two guys right there. Only thing is, you don't want to mess up Tyrese Maxey. Does Tyrese Maxey have to know he missed role? Even though he did a good job because he played alongside James Harden, and he did a good job complimenting James Harden. But keep in mind, Tyrese Maxey is now he's unlocked a new tier where he now know, especially with Joel Embiid being out every other game, he's the man. He's the primary scorer. He's the bucket getter now. You bring a guy like Paul George in, it's going to go from Joel Embiid, the PG, Tyrese Maxey. When games where Joel Embiid is going to be out due to rest or injuries or whatever. Now that's going to be PG. It's going to be Tyrese Maxey. So does that mess that up? Or can Tyrese Maxey be fine and count that? Because Tyrese Maxey, I will say, is soon to be an all-star player one day. And then New York Knicks, if I'm New York, if I'm Tom Thibodeau, I'm leaving that alone. I'm leaving that alone. I don't want no Paul George. The Knicks need to worry about getting healthy. The Knicks are fine just the way they are. If the Knicks can just stay healthy, the Knicks can go somewhere. And when I say go somewhere, I mean to the NBA Finals, if they can stay healthy. I believe Jalen Brunson is one of the best players and honestly one of the top point guards in today's game. And one thing I've said about that, it's going to be a topic for another day, the evolution of how point guards change today. They say guys underneath the height of 6'4", 6'5", and making the NBA is over unless you have elite footwork, elite coordination, elite shot creation, and elite vision. And Jalen Brunson checks all those boxes. And there's not a lot of guys that we see in the league that's at that height and that's playing that elite basketball besides guys, of course, like you're going to throw in Steph Curry, you're going to throw in Kyrie Irving still, and guys of that nature. But it's not a lot of them. And Jalen Brunson's absolutely checking the box, and he's defining all laws to what it's like to be. Even though size is not on your side, how you can still be effective and be unstoppable. Because that's what Jalen Brunson's been the last 2 years. Not just effective. The man's been virtually unstoppable and unguardable. I don't want Paul George over near that. I'm good right here with Dante DiVincenzo. I'm good with McBride. I'm good with Josh Hart. I'm good with Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm good with we just have to stay healthy. The Knicks don't know what they could have did if they would have just been healthy. They really don't. I picked them to beat Indiana. Indiana got lucky. They met their course, and it showed when they got dealt with by the Boston Celtics. I'll tell you that now. But outside of Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia, and of course, the Clippers again, re-signing back with the Clippers, which I believe is 50-50 at this point to happen. And I believe Paul George will be testing this free agent market. But outside of Philly, I don't see Paul George anywhere we can win. But one thing I do know if he's going to win a championship, it's going to have to be out the West. I tell you that dang much. He's going to have to do it out the West because it don't matter what team you go to in the West, you're not going to win. See, it's going to be tough. Not saying you're not going to do it. Anything is possible, but it's going to be really hard. When you look at the East, the only team you got to continue with is really just Boston in the up and on the coming rise with the Knicks, if they can stay healthy. And then the Pacers, we're going to have to see what they did last year can carry over this year, can carry over the next season. So we got to see all that. But the Clippers, we all know, you got a guy like Paul George, which you already have in the health of Joel Embiid, which you already have in Tyrese Maxey. No doubt about it, those boys are going to be a formidable force to stop. And they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the East. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because the West is getting too tech. I mean, teams who didn't even make the playoffs this year, who I'm going to project to make the playoffs later, they're on the rise. The Victor Wembanyama, we know Greg Pop going to put a team around that man. Ime Udoka and his Houston Rockets, who I was talking. Come on now. It's getting tough. It's going to get tough, and it's going to get really tough. So if I'm Paul George, I need to go ahead and make the move now. You're getting older. You're not getting no younger. And if it's really about if it's about championships for like how I believe it is, not the bull crap we said on that podcast, now's the time to do it. And you need to go in the East, somewhere in the East, to go get that chip, Paul George. That's all I'm going to say. You need to go to the East and make that happen. Because the West short and playing alongside Kawhi, and nothing too, Paul. Don't get so stop. Don't forget Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a first ballot Hall of Famer, regardless of what we think about him, how many games he's played. Kawhi Leonard is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Don't forget Kawhi Leonard. Forget Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard got 3 rings. 1 in Toronto, 2 in San Antonio. Kawhi Leonard could care less about picking up a basketball. Truth be told, and it shows. You need to do this for yourself. You the one. When it's all said and done, you end your career with not even, forget a jewelry, forget a final ring. If you end your career, Paul George, right now, without even a finals appearance, the way we look at your career when it's all said and done, don't be surprised if it's not within the totality of what you would have liked it to be. When it's all said and done, winning is 60% of our game. Stats is the other. It's about winning championships, PG, just in case you didn't know. Period.
You want your money. You want the helicopters. You want the masseuse. You want the pedicures. You want all the perks. All of it. I mean, all of it, because he don't miss much of it, okay? You want all of that. But the availability ain't there.